Everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's about 4:40 on January 16th, 2014. Let me read this to you, then we'll take a look at the chart. The website and this video are for educational purposes only, and nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's take a look. Well, today we're down a little bit. We, by not much of a margin, but we failed to break out over this all-time high line, even though yesterday was an all-time high in the S&P, I believe, wasn't it? It doesn't matter whether it was off by a small percentage or not. It really is inconsequential. The idea is we did not get over that line that we've had on this chart since the end of the year. That said, we kind of bounced in a spot where we would expect to. And again, the S&P is showing me something of a schizophrenic nature, and I'm just a little bit at a loss as to which way to think this is going to go. Let me explain why. Yesterday, when we got over the top of this line right here, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe we just flag here and then power up. But instead, today we just kind of sagged down a little bit. But look, and I have not moved these lines, okay? I want you to understand that. I don't move these lines every now and then a little bit if I think there's a legitimate refinement. But generally speaking, if I move a trend line, I will let you know. So this is what I see. I see a return to this rising wedge. And it's just, the question is, are we back in this wedge because we're going to go out to the end here and then fall back down again? And that is a distinct possibility. If that's the case and we start coming down into the lower 1800s, then we've got to consider the possibility that we could be dealing with a double top. Okay? We're not there yet, but that is a possibility. If we did have a double top, then we would be looking at because of the height of this pattern, which is already established, if it is a double top, we would be looking at a move to come down probably into the 1780s. Okay? That would also mean we would break some support lines on the way that we don't really want to see break if you're a bull. But, okay, and here's the flip side, and this is why it's schizoid. At the same time, it looks like we have returned to our ascending wedge. We also bounced on the line that is drawn over our last two peaks that were in place before we saw a sell-off of minor significance. Okay, if we have a little move like what we had right here, where we go from 1844 down to 1834, I don't consider that to be a move of any real significance. But when we go from back here, when we go from 1849 down to 1823, that's a 26-point move. That's more than 1%. That's somewhat significant. When we go from 1843 to the 1815s, that's enough to be significant. So draw the line across those two tops that were in place before we got those two little downdrafts, and that is also where we bounced today. So the shape of this pattern, if we are re-entering an ascending wedge with the intent that is typically built into an ascending wedge, then you would have to say that's not a real bullish development. But bouncing on this line, like we did today, could be a signal that we will indeed take out this top line again and get back on to business. So you can just see where these trend lines are. It's as if the S&P just can't quite make up its mind whether it's time to sell off or it's time to rally. And because it can't make up its mind, the chart is not showing any clear sense of direction. So I think the only thing we can do, the only thing that I can do, is to just kind of once again say, let's see what happens. If this breaks, then I think we're probably going to come down and retest this low down here, or possibly come down to this rising trend line, this brown line that I'm showing you right here. And of course, there's always a possibility that this does morph into some kind of other pattern, but right now it really doesn't look that much to me. It just looks like we've got legitimate trend lines on this chart, and the S&P is simply moving around from one level to the next, trying to seek out a sense of direction. That was a nice move we had up off the 1815 area all the way up to 1850 within within about a session and a half. It makes perfectly good sense to give up a little bit of that, but what I want to see is, are we going to rally back up, set a new high by a significant margin? I still think we could get up into the 1870s, but we've got to overcome this area right here where we got turned back again today. Well, actually, you could say we got turned back yesterday, because that's when the highs were in place. But looking at a 5-minute chart, you can see where yesterday and today appear to have made little mirrors of each other as far as patterns go. This was a little top here with that had its own little neckline. Doesn't line up exactly with the support line or the resistance line in that rising wedge, but you can see we had this little support line here that gave way, and today we established a little resistance line at approximately 1846. So let's see if tomorrow we get a little strength. I could see this going either way so easily, and it's good that we bounced here, but I don't like the fact that it looks like we've re-entered, at least for now. It sort of looks like we've re-entered what the S&P was going through since the beginning of the year, and that is sort of this weak little rising wedge shape, with the exception of this breakdown right here. Looks like we may be back to that pattern. So we've got good lines on the chart, good trend lines. It's just going to be a matter, I see, is this one going to break down? If it does, then we're going to, in all likelihood, come down to test this brown line, or possibly the low 1820s. There's a possibility we may be forming an inverted head and shoulders here, but that's very speculative at this point. So for right now, I think the lines to watch really are this one for support, and if it gives way, then we're going to see some selling, or this green line up here. If we can get up over that, then we're likely to see some renewed interest on the buy side. So guys, that's the video. Nothing much happened today. Just a slightly more ambiguous picture after today's trading than we had after yesterday's. Yesterday's looked a bit bullish. Today just looks kind of wait and see. So with that in mind, I guess I'll wait and see. I hope you do too. And tomorrow, and over the weekend, actually, it is Thursday. Over the weekend, let's see if maybe we get something going on tomorrow that lends a little bit of clarity to what we might expect in what is going to be a shortened week next week. I believe we've got a holiday on Monday. So MLK, that is a holiday for the markets, isn't it? Yes, it is. I just checked. So Monday, there will not be any trading. So let's see if tomorrow's action gives us a little clarity. If not, we're going to have to wait till Tuesday. Take care. Thanks for watching.